Who was Princess Diana's mother? Princess Diana's mother was born in 1936 on the day that King George V died. She was the daughter of Maurice Roche, 4th Baron Fermoy, seen here. Both of her parents were involved with the royal family. For example, her father was a friend of George VI, and her mother was a confidant and lady-in-waiting to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. When she was just 18 years old, she married John Spencer, the future 8th Earl Spencer. They were married in a huge ceremony at Westminster Abbey, and she was the youngest woman to be wed in Westminster Abbey since 1893. Their wedding was attended by Queen Elizabeth II as well as other members of the royal family. There was a large 12-year age gap between the two, and this may have had something to do with why their marriage was ultimately very unhappy. The couple went on to have 5 children. The firstborn the following year after their marriage was called Lady Sarah. She was followed by Lady Jane. And then in 1960, a boy called John was born, but he died only 10 hours after his birth. In 1961, Diana was born, and then in 1964, little Charles was born, the current Earl Spencer. And here we have the 4 surviving siblings with their father in the middle. There is Diana on the right, and there's Charles there. So although children were born to this marriage, it was unhappy, and apparently Diana's father was violent. Diana was actually a witness to some of this abuse, and she later recalled seeing, this is a quote, "seeing my father slap my mother across the face, and I was hiding behind the door and she was crying." Of course, we don't really know what went on behind closed doors, but the marriage broke down irretrievably. And in 1967, Frances, Diana's mother, decided to leave the marriage. Frances, Lady Spencer, had been having an affair with Peter Shand Kidd, who she'd met previously, and she left her marriage for him. Following the separation, Frances initially lived with her 2 youngest children, Diana and Charles, but that wasn't to last. Because during that Christmas holiday season, the children went to live with their father, and then he refused to let them go back to their mother. And after this, there ensued an almighty custody battle over the children. And crazily, Diana's father actually won that custody battle. In fact, Frances's own mother testified against her. Frances later said of this, she said, "You cannot imagine how much it hurt for your own mother to take the other side against you." Of course, the children were greatly affected by this, particularly Diana. She had to grow up in her father's house, and she was largely raised by nannies. On top of this, she absolutely detested her stepmother. And of course, this separation between mother and daughter put a lot of strain on their relationship. But despite this, the two did remain in contact. In 1969, Frances remarried, she married Peter, and they bought an 18th century farmhouse, and they sort of lived happily together for a while. And of course, when Diana married the Prince of Wales, the current King Charles III, she was very much present at that wedding. And for a period, the two did maintain a somewhat functional relationship, and they attended events together, and she was an active grandmother. Here we see her with her daughter and her 2 grandsons. And here they're all on a holiday together with some cousins enjoying the beach. But of course, over the years, as a mother and daughter, they did have some quarrels, and this was widely reported and often exaggerated in the British press. And it's often been reported in the press that when Princess Diana was tragically killed, that the two were not actually on speaking terms. Which I absolutely hope wasn't true, because for a mother to lose her daughter must have been an absolutely unbearable tragedy, and here we see her at her daughter's funeral. By this point, Frances had long been separated from her second husband, and over the years after her daughter's death, she became more and more of a recluse. And she died at the age of 68 in 2004, following a long illness that included Parkinson's disease and brain cancer. Her funeral was attended by her surviving children, her sister, and of course her grandchildren, including Princes William and Harry.